Hey. Okay. Thank you for the feedback. Now the microphone should work. Now it should work fine. Hopefully. I got a couple of cool ideas for today's live stream. Last time I made a live stream, I think that was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, we were talking about the latest Apple WWDC conference videos, new iOS update things, and I would like to continue with what we did in the last live stream. Okay, so microphone is working on this setting as well. I moved into a new office, by the way, and that's why I had some microphone problems a couple of seconds ago. Because I had to reset up all my things, all my like Mac Pro, display, microphone, and so on, and somehow I guess it just like made some problems because I connected it probably to a different USB port or something like that, and it didn't recognize the microphone like immediately. But let me know, guys, what you're working on currently and like where you're from. So that would be also interesting. I'm always really curious where you're from because like I'm in Germany right here, and I know that like from so many different countries and nations people are watching those videos and live streams. But for today's live stream, I would like to focus on what we, as I said, worked on last time. So we have an app here, and I wanted to create a dark mode, a dark UI for a like sample project. And in the last live stream, I showed you that I created a dark mode for this light UI right here. You can see the dark mode over here. I also worked with a couple of symbols and so on. And today I want to show you from scratch how I got from this light UI to a dark mode that is really flexible, and it is like that is easily created. So to give you some impressions, we have a couple of symbols in this dark mode. We have like a tab bar down here. We have an app bar at the top. Then we have some list elements, but I think those list elements aren't symbols. And if I go into such a symbol, we can see that there are a couple of overrides right here. So we have a couple of stuff that we can fiddle and change and so on. And I would like to show you how you can go from such a light UI to this dark UI. So what we're gonna do now is to copy our light UI. I'm gonna drag this one down. Yeah, and by the way, I grabbed one of those dark mode UI things from Apple Design Sketch, I don't know how it is called. Yeah, Design Resources. And here we can grab the latest iOS library or like beta file. And when we open it up, we have different versions of light UIs and dark UIs and so on. And I just copied one of those artboards because I wanted to get the colors. I wanted to get those grayish colors, and I simply used this file to get all the colors, and I used them in this screen. But now that we have this version already, I will just use them from the screen on the left side. So we can actually delete it, but I will just drag it out of focus. So we have someone in the live stream, in the chat from the community. He's from Dublin, but currently in Seattle. Awesome. good luck with that. Okay, so when we look at those two versions right here, we see that there are a couple of different colors that we have to change. So, and I will start from the back. I have a background color that is included in the export. And I need to change it, of course, to have a dark background color. And now you see that the like black and dark gray titles and labels aren't really like visible anymore on this color, on this particular color. So what we will do now is to work our way through all those different elements. And it's not that hard. And by the way, like a little tip right here. The background color is static. So I changed it from, I don't know, probably full white to this dark gray. You could of course also create a rectangle that is filling up the whole screen, the whole artboard, and place it in the back and make a symbol and then work with overrides. I will maybe like do this at the end of this video. But I actually don't like to have layers as my background. I like to work with the native Sketch background color. But to have like a simple and dynamic file, we could do that. I will maybe show this to you at the end of the video. Okay. So now, maybe let's do something about the text and labels. I will continue with this icon in a second, but I would like to just change these two labels right here because I don't really like the way they are displayed currently. And I can also give you an impression of how I did it at the beginning when I did it for the first time. I actually just checked the colors of this like UI created by Apple. I even like made a document color from this little label, from this headline. And all I have to do now is to select my text and I will give them these colors right here. That's great, isn't it? The next thing that we have to do right here as well is to change this color to dark, from this dark gray to a bluish mid-light gray. So now you have a good contrast. And I think I told you about contrast in one of the last videos actually. Contrast is a pretty cool tool. And you currently aren't able to see it. Let me give you the full screen right now. Hold on. Is my mic working? Yeah, I guess it is. So yeah, we are in this full screen preview. And here we have contrast. Contrast is a pretty cool tool that is enabling us and helping us to check colors and contrasts. So we can use this little pipette tool and get the background color. And then we get a fail because the foreground color and the background color and the contrast between those colors isn't great. But I pick the like apple gray that I got from this little file right here. And I get a 4.26. And I think, if I remember correctly, everything that is 3.5 or 4 or higher than that is very good. And we also get a little rating right here, AA+. So this is a pretty good contrast already. We can also do the same with these little dots right here. So we have the background color, and we just have to change our foreground color. We get an AA, so that's good as well. And let's check those. Also, pretty great contrast, so that's pretty good. So you can check those contrasts with contrast, and to get this little tool right here, you simply have to download it. I think it's from getcontrast.com or something like that. Yeah, it's easy. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, so now let's move on to our symbol. And that's the part where it is really getting interesting. I'm usually somebody who's not working with so many symbols and layer styles or whatever, but I think it's actually a good idea to do that. That's why it would be also good to create a text style for those elements right here. So we could call this, for example, client ID dark. And we could also go and create a text style for this and call it client address. And we can do the same for our headline. I'm gonna call this headline dark. Oh yeah, and we have to rename this one right here. How can you rename a text style? Client address. Ah yeah, here. Dark. Okay, so we know now that this is the dark layout for our address, for the client ID, and for our headline. Moving on to our app bar, we are now able to change the background. And I already created that, so maybe we have to go into our file right here, and I will delete all of those that I created before. We will do this all from scratch, you know. It's all live, it's not pre-created or something like that. Let's do it. Okay, so we should be clear. We have this one, that's the last one. Okay, so now we have a really fresh symbols page. We only have the app bar, the tab bar, and all of those icons right here, but they are just made for the normal light version. Okay, let's go back. Now we don't have those override options here anymore. Okay, I will drag the window to maybe this position right here, so you can check all of those options. Okay, what do we have to do at the beginning? We see that all of those different status bar items are black. That's why we can simply use overrides that are created by Sketch. If you go into Insert and then iOS Design, or like Symbols iOS Design, you get all of those different things and they come in different colors. So we can simply go for a white version right here, and it's instantly changing them without us having to do anything. Yeah, I now see that we have a little problem because it natively created all of those colors for the dark mode, and it also changed them on our white version, on our light version. So let me go back and redo all of those steps. I hope, yeah, now it's working. Okay. Yeah. Yes. I will show you how we do it. Okay. So we have our app bar right here. I'm sorry for this little interruption. We have our app bar right here, and the bottom layer of the symbol is our background color, our background layer. Because if we go into the symbol, we see that we can select it. It's a symbol inside the symbol. So if we want to do it, if we want to give our app and we assume that it currently has like a whitish background, like the one that we see right here, like that. We can pretty easily change that up. So I'm gonna call this navbg, so not navbar bg, because this is the old layer. I'm gonna redo all of that. We can create a new symbol and call it navbg. And if we go to this layer, which is down here, we have a simple plain white layer. Okay, so that's pretty easy. Okay, so somebody from Brazil is here. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy this video. Okay, now we just have a simple plain white layer and it's not dynamic or anything. We have to be sure to use Sketch Override. And what it does basically is that you get several options to override your background layer. Now we only have one option, but if I duplicate this layer and I rename both of them, one of them has to be navbg, then slash, and I can give it whatever name I can think of. So this one will be light, and this is navbg. This is going to be dark. So slash dark, and now we have to change up the color to a dark gray. I will be using this one because, as I said, I already pre-created it. And then we can go over to our page and we already have the app bar selected. Now we have a certain navbg override right here, because if I click it, I can select none. Then it will simply hide the layer, as I did it just with the old version. But I can also see that we have a light one, the currently selected one actually, and the dark one. So you don't need, so if you don't know much about Sketch Override, you don't need a like normal background layer, because when I created the symbol for this, it was just called navbg, and then I just renamed the base symbol layer with /light, you know. But on the main symbol, it's still showing navbg. That doesn't matter at all. You can also, of course, override it from here, but I like to do it from the app itself. So let's go down here and click dark. Okay, we have to also redo this one. Okay, so now we have a dark background, but we see that there are still some problems, because the background color and the color of our app bar isn't like they are the same color, and we can't distinguish and like see what is the background, what is the app bar. That's why we will go back into our example file made by Sketch, or made by Apple, actually, not by Sketch. And we will go and grab one of those colors right here. So we have a couple of elements. This one is a separator. I'm gonna quickly detach it from the symbol and get the color. So we have like this little grayish transparent color right here. I grabbed it, added it to my document color palette. And now I will simply go back into our tab bar, and I'm gonna add it to my nav bar. So we will have a border or a shadow. I think we should go with, no, I will do a border, but I'm not sure. We have to test it out. I'm gonna do it outside, so hopefully it will only show at the bottom, because those, like the top, left and right, are cut it off. And it has this little light grayish color. So now if we go back, yeah, as I assumed, it shows up, and we can now have different, we have like a separator, you know. So let's go back. Right now you don't see anything right here, but that's not a problem at all. So we have two different text layers. We have an active let me go back to this one. We have an active label and or active tab, and we have a disabled tab. We have, of course, get those colors right, because currently it's mixed up a bit. It's probably broken, but that's not a problem at all. Of course, the left one is active, is currently open, and I would love to, of course, emphasize it more and delete, or I don't know, like decrease the visibility or the color intensity and the contrast of our inactive tab. So I'm gonna double click this one and check out our left and active tab, and we see that we currently have a override here already, because as I said, did it before and we had to get our layers again, but it's exactly the same as the navbg thing. So you have a base text layer, and we can of course do it really quick again. Let me really quick get the text color and label. I'm gonna just copy the label, but it's not a symbol. So you see in our layer panel that we have a label right here. It's not a symbol, as I said, and we're gonna work with that. Okay, so let's check the alignment. Okay, what we're gonna do now is we will make sure that it looks great on our white and light version. So it should probably look about like that on our light version, as well as the one on the right side. I'm gonna call this tab 1 and tab 2, so we can probably see it a little bit better. Tab 1, tab 2, and I will hide those layers right there. Okay, so we have a clean file right here. For our inactive tab, I will just decrease the alpha or opacity to 50%. And now we can distinguish between those options easily. Okay, so select the first tab, and now we will create a symbol again. Or what we could also do probably is to work with text styles. Usually I would simply do it like here. We have a secondary option and a primary or active option, and have two different layers, two different symbols, the same as those down here for the background layer. But maybe we can do it a little bit simpler by working with text styles. Okay, so I'm gonna give this a text style. I'm gonna call it active tab light. This one is active tab light, and this one is inactive tab light. Okay, so we have two versions right here. Now let me go back to our instance, and maybe we are now able to override our text layer. We can now, of course, also edit the text and call it, I don't know, home or something. And the second tab could be, or I don't know, maybe this one is all, and this tab is only showing new. So this little filter system. But let me create some more. Let me create some more text styles. I'm gonna change the navbg to dark so we can actually work on that. And we of course already changed and created a color style for active and contrasty layers and labels. So that's why we have the active version already. But when we go here for the inactive tab, I would of course also maybe go hit this one, and maybe we can also just decrease the opacity by 50%. That way it should also look fine. Just cleaned the file a little bit. Okay, so we have tab 1, tab 2. Of course, we can also go and change our background color again. So now we have a little active tab that is quite contrasty. We can of course also check it out again with our tool. Boom, AA+, perfect. And if I go down here for the second tab, it should probably not be enough contrast. So it's only a contrast of 2.06 and it's showing me fail. But it's okay, it's just an inactive tab. And the user is not just able to click the tab, but also to just swipe left and right. So that's enough for the inactive tab as well. So we have somebody from China. Okay. I hope you guys like what I'm showing you right now. If you have any questions, of course, just post them into the live chat and I will just try to answer them. Okay. So you see that like the first steps of creating such a dark UI, they take some time, you know. But if we continue to create different features and screens of this app, at the end of the video you will see that we can create new versions of it and instances of it really easily. We can switch between dark and light, left and right, you know. It's easy. It will be super fast. So let's check out our layer styles and if it's working directly. So we have a tab right here. Oh yeah, I think I forgot to do something. Of course. We changed the color of the active tab light, but actually I wanted to create a new text style from it, and it's active tab dark, and this one is also, you see it with this little dot right here. This is inactive tab dark. Let's go back. And now we should be able to see that we can change the text style from active tab, give me this one right here. Yeah, tab 1. From active tab dark or active tab light really easily. Okay, so that's easy. We could do the same. We could do the same with those text layers that I showed you right here. I will show you how to do that also, because from now on it's pretty easy to do this. Okay, so we have a tab right here. I'm gonna select it and I will change it up to active tab light, and this one has to be inactive tab light right there. So now let's create a symbol from this one. I'm gonna call it tab 1 or whatever you like, and this one should be tab 2. Okay, so let's search for those layers. We have them right here, and now I'm gonna rename this one to active tab / light, and this one is of course the inactive tab / light. So now select both of these layers, make a copy of them, and this one will be the active tab / dark, and this one will be the inactive tab for our dark mode. So because we created those text styles, we can simply change them on our dark symbols. Inactive tab dark, like that. Okay. And now you will see, if we go back to our first page, that we are able to work with overrides. Tab 1, tab 2, we can customize the text, we can still customize the text style, and we can of course also just work with all those different versions. So for example, I want to make a screen, I want to basically change the active tab from left to right. Of course you also have to change like the indicator position. The indicator is this red line. It should of course move to the right, but you also want to switch the styles of your labels, because the right one will then turn into active and this one turn inactive. So from here we have active tab / light, but actually I want active tab / dark. So this one is giving me a dark option, as well as this one. Sorry. Yeah, there we have it. Tab 2 is the inactive tab, and it will be dark. As I mentioned, you can of course also create a switch, and that way you can easily change the active tab. So right there, change the position of the indicator, and boom, you're here. I will show you how you can change the position of the indicator really quick. It's also very easy. Okay, so we have an indicator right here. I will also duplicate this one, indicator copy, gonna call it indicator right, and this one will be indicator left. Oops. And I think right now it's not positioned correctly, but it's just about showing you what I mean. We see both of them, and currently the right tab is active, so we should go here and display none, just like that. We changed the switch right here. So now the left is inactive, the right is active. Quite easy, isn't it? Guys, let's use contrast again and check the contrast of our red color right here. It's giving us AA+. Maybe we can even improve this a little bit, and maybe you have seen it already. I did something. Let's go into our panel right here. We have a logo. I'm gonna rename this logo, and it has no layer style currently, but it has the color that we are using for our light version. So I'm gonna create a new layer style, logo light, and then I'm gonna switch our color. This one is something I already checked with contrast. So remember, currently we have 3.65, and if I go now and grab the color right here, we have 4.70. So this is a much better contrast and perfect for our dark logo. Like for our dark UI. This is logo dark. So now we should be able to actually switch it pretty easily. Remember, we have logo right here, and we can simply just go for logo light if we are on the light UI, or can go for logo dark. So it's easy and fast. And then we have the tab bar down here. Let's also go into our tab bar. Right here we see that it has a background layer that is already a symbol. I basically used this layer right here that we created before. We can also of course just insert this nav.bg layer that we created in today's live stream. I'm gonna hide this one, and I will insert the nav.bg, and I will start with light. So I can just paste it right here. And I can also, of course, change the height. I'm gonna change it to 100%. It will not matter at all. We can go back and we can then simply change it right here. Boom, we have a dark mode ready. And the contrast of those icons should actually be enough already, I guess. So if I check it out. Oh, no, it's failing. Interesting. Interesting, it's failing. So the contrast of the darkish background and the little grayish icons and probably also text color isn't enough. Let's check the green right here. I think it will be enough. Yeah, pretty good contrast, 6.83. What we can do now, of course, is to go and work again with layer styles. So we have a icon right here. This one will get a layer style icon. No, I'm gonna call it tab bar icon light. And I think maybe we can even maybe we can also work with slash. Okay, tab bar icon slash light. I'm gonna try this out. I think it will work the same way. Then I will update the color. Gonna eyeball it a bit like that. Let's go for use contrast and pick the color. And yeah, it's showing it's a great contrast, 8.4. Now we create a new text style, and this one is slash dark. So let me check out what we did right here. We created a different text, no, sorry, not text style, layer style. We have item 2, and item 2, here we can change the icon that we want to show. But how can we change the color of it? Maybe we have to go into the symbol to do that. I don't know, maybe it's giving us some problems because I used the native iOS UI design tab bar with 4 items. But as you see from our example up here with the logo, we can pretty easily create layer styles and change colors of several things. I will try out something else. So we have our logo right here. And we see that we have those colors. I'm gonna organize the layer styles and try to rename those. Logo slash dark, and this one will be logo slash light. I'm gonna check out what it maybe changed. Okay, we have logo. Okay, yeah. So that's better. Remember, before I renamed them, all of those layer styles will just will be placed in this list. And if you create like 20 or 30 different layer styles, it will get really confusing. But now, because I added a little slash, logo slash light or logo slash dark, we actually see that there is a little drop down right here, and we can change it from this little drop down and not have any of those colors in this basic root list. Okay. Continuing this one, we have to, of course, also change the color of those list items right here. And we could just do it really fast by grabbing us the colors of our example file on the right side. I'm gonna grab the border color as well, like that, and we could then simply create a new text layer style. Sorry, text layer style. Layer style, and I'm gonna call this list item dark, like right there. Select all of them, list item dark. Oops, edit the layer style to all of those folders. Of course, I want to change the background images, list item dark. Why is there no border color? That's interesting. We have a border color right here. And it's... What is happening here? Oh, now I see. Detached from layer style. I made some really confusing stuff right here. Yeah. Okay, now I get what I wanted to do. List item dark. Okay, let's redo it. Sorry. I changed the group layer, the group style, or added a group appearance. But of course I wanted to do it for the background layer. That's why I was so confused right now. So add a background color, add a border, and now we should be able to update it and see it, as I said, on all of those items. Then what we have to do, of course, is to also make sure that we have visible subheadlines. Maybe we can just go and grab our text styles right here. Secondary title, subheadline. We can try something out of the list right here. Secondary title, maybe. Looks perfect. And when it comes to those icons, and we have a symbol for that, let's go into the symbol. And I will just quickly show you what you have to do to get a dark version of that. So I made a duplicate. Oops. Sketch, come on. Duplicate. I'm gonna place those next to each other. And we have a icon service rent, like, what is this layer name? Icon list 1. But of course icon list 1/light, and this one will be icon list 1/dark. And then all we have to do is to grab a color that is visible on those dark backgrounds. We did it before with one of those icons right there, so maybe we can just go and grab a... Oops, what I'm doing? Okay, it has different folders. Let's ungroup this. That's like happening if you port icons from Illustrator to Sketch. It just creates 10,000 folders. List icon dark. Now let's go back and check it out. We have it right here. Perfect. When we have to do the same, we have to rename those layer names again, these layer styles again. So organize imported styles, layer styles, list icon. Remember to always add those slashes. Boom. Done. Let's check it out. List icon, light or dark. Now you can't see it because it's the light version. Go back, dark version, boom. We should be able to do it for all of those icons. Let me go back into our symbols. So we have a hotline icon right here. And we should be able to also apply the layer style to this icon. Gonna ungroup it. Ungroup it again. This symbol contains all of those icon layers. It doesn't have a layer style yet, but I think if I add one of those, maybe just go for the light one, even if, yeah, it's changing the icon a bit, but just to show it to you, show to you what is actually happening. We should now be able to go to this icon right here. Oops. Right there. And no, it's not working. Why not? We have icon service hotline. So I guess we have to do the same procedure again. Icon service hotline / light, icon service hotline / dark, and in this one, oops, we should select all of those layers and add the dark layer style. It should probably look a bit weird right now. This one should be dark. Oh no, it's working. Okay. Yeah. So you have to always create those two versions of those icons. But I'm not sure. I thought that there was a way to make it a little bit easier to switch between those different states. Because right now I always have to create a new symbol. But maybe I'm also wrong. I thought that there was a way to maybe just have one symbol, one artboard for a certain icon, and have all of those layer styles, like if I select one of those icons right here, being able to select the layer style from this list. Let me check that out again, because I have, for the past file that I created, I did something with the indicator line. So yeah, I did it with 2 layers right there. So I guess, yeah, you just have to have 2 layers of it. Anyway, so this is not 100% ready. We have to create new versions for those 2 icons to finish it up. But maybe that's something you want to do with your own design. So yeah, I have a cool idea. If you want me to create a dark UI, a dark mode from your own app, from like a free UI that you found somewhere, or from an app that you created, like from a single screen, you can now, right now, send me an email or a link in the live chat with a link, like a link to your file. And in one of the next live streams, I will create a dark UI from your file. I think that's a cool idea. So if you want to do that, if you are having fun, seeing and looking at me transforming those light UIs into dark UIs. Post a link in the live chat to a light UI that you found somewhere that is available for free, or send me a link to your file of a design that you created, and then I will simply go and create a dark mode from it to just check it out, to just have fun with it. Let me know what you're thinking about that. Okay. So now we actually almost finished it. As I said, we should continue changing those icons, those two icons right here. But to make it a little bit easier, I'm just gonna delete them, drag this one up, place it correctly, change the alignment a bit, and now we have a perfect dark UI for our app. And if you copy it on your phone, you will see that it is easily usable, and it's super fast. As I said, if we now want to create a new page, a new screen, a new view from our first one, we simply have to copy this one. We can in here now create the different tab. So we have a tab right here. Tab 1 is inactive, but I would like to have an active tab, dark version. Then we have tab 2. I would also like to have tab 2, but as an inactive tab right there. And then let's look out for our indicators. We have a indicator on the right side. Let's change it to none, because I only want to have it on the left side. And now you see we basically switched the tab, and of course we would now have to change the content maybe on all. Oh no. Maybe on all we are seeing those two options in our list, and maybe on new we only see a like filtered view, you know. That's the way it goes. Okay. So let me know in the live chat about your designs, about the screen that you want me to transform from light into dark. We can of course play a little bit with those screens right here. We have a tab on the right, we have a tab on the left. You can do all sorts of fun things with this. So imagine, I don't know, you want to have a different artboard transformed into a dark mode. So you can do so much with it, because we have everything prepared basically. We have those layer styles, we have text styles that are available and ready for a dark mode. We have those symbols for our app bar, we have symbols and overrides for the tab bar. We have the layer styles for the list item dark. We would need something for list item light if we change it back. Actually, we can just do it right here. New layer style, list item background / light, and select this one, organize layer styles, list item background / dark, you know? If we now go to list item background, we can change it to light again, but of course we don't want to do that. Okay, so we have everything prepared. We have the logo prepared, we have tab bar icons prepared, we have the list items, list icons as well, and then we have some other stuff. Content area, box, dark. Ah yeah, and something I wanted to show you for the background layer. I said I wanted to have a dynamic background for our file. So let's start with the light version. I'm gonna create a new layer, rectangle layer, that I will place in the background of this file. Right there. Position 0, 0, and width 100%, height the same. Let's get rid of the fill. I need to grab the background color that I'm currently using. So it's almost white. 100%. Okay, so this one will be the main BG, main background. Okay, so create a symbol from that. Main background. Double click. Okay, we have a main background / light. Copy, oops, make one copy of it. Main background / dark. And then we simply have to go back and create and use the pipette tool from our example file made by Apple. As I mentioned, you can get it from the Apple design resources for free. Yeah. Select the main BG, and then we simply paste the color. Go back. Then you see we have a background that is light or dark. Here we are using the light version, but I can make a copy of it. Go into our changed artboard. Copy and paste it. Drag to the bottom. Of course, now we simply go down right here. Change it to dark, and now we have a dynamic background, because if we select the artboard and we change the background color from here, it's not really dynamic, you know. For example, you want to have it a little bit more light, like that. I don't know why you should do that, but just to get an impression. We would have to do it on all of our artboards, you know. Currently, for example, if I want to change the background of all of those different artboards, I have always to go to select the artboard and change it from here. But now that we created a layer, we should be able to just change it from here, make it a little bit darker. And boom, there we have it. A dynamic background for upcoming files. And we can, as I showed you, simply change it from at the top or from this list, organized into those drop-down menus. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? Let me know if you liked this video. Ooh, it was like really focused. Like a focused video, because I wanted to be really clear about what I am showing you. I wanted to really give you an impression of what you can do with those overrides, text styles, layer styles, and I hope you understood one or two things. Let me know if you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know if you understood everything. If you have any questions, you can leave that down in the live chat or in the comments after you watch this video. Of course, if you want to watch the full video, it will be archived on YouTube as well. It should be available in a couple of hours. And then you can leave your questions there. I will answer them. And we can do more stuff like that in the upcoming live streams and videos as well. So thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed it, and we see us in the next one. Bye.